how much you care. That life is hard and he should prepare. Got a game next Friday, you'll be there. But when Friday comes, no time to spare. You can spend $4,000 on a set of rims. No less than a C-note, a brand new 10. 3 bills on tickets to your favorite sport. Pay your fam no mind nor child support. Give half what I said to your daughter or son. High interest bearing retirement fund. Spend time with them, homie, and gain their trust. By the time they 30, got $1 million plus. A good dad is a great thing, that's the truth. More than words that I spit in a recording booth. Didn't have second thoughts when you laid it down. So when it's time to pay, no need to frown. Some fellas hit a term and they think a gun. Mad moms would equate this to lack of fun. For the clothes, food, daycare, car, no rent, and a promises for time not spent. Then again, some will clown you and call you small. For your lack of drug use or the alcohol. Call you soft cause your mind stays tried and true. Tell them sticks and stones to do what you do.
If you are what you say you are, then man up. Stop being a bitch, pull your pants up. Get more involved, be a problem solver. Dedicate tasks, stop laying on your way. Thinking you a man, shorty gave you some air. Became think past getting some, feeling dumb. Shorty asked you a question about your daughter and your son. No income, no skill, no drive, no commitment to nothing I expect to provide. When problems pop up, yo, go hide. Not I, I'm a man, I'm a word. When your boy properly served, I'm getting what I deserve. Good food, good dude. 9 to 5, kept your boy from pitching from a curve. Work ethic kept women from getting on my nerve. I'm the captain of the ship, she's just alone for the trip.
Some fellas hit a term and they think a gun. Mad moms would equate this to lack of fun. For the clothes, food, daycare, car, no rent, and a promises for time not spent. Then again, some will clown you and call you small. For your lack of drug use or the alcohol. Call you soft cause your mind stays tried and true. Tell them sticks and stones to do what you do.
They tell me, Roderick, I ain't have a father figure. I tell them me neither, got a partner. But at some point I had to dig a little deeper. Made decisions in my life, no booze, no weed. From this day on, this how it's gonna be. I dare a little nigga try to cuss in front of me. I dare a little dude disrespect my OG. I check him where he stand, make him respect the man.
As the mic last 8 is reserved for Doc. First thing on the agenda, take back my block. Young dudes in the hood wanna show their air. Grab a bag, walk the block, pick up some trash. Take pride in the spot that you claim is yours. Hold it down, keep it free of the needless wars. Keep at a distance, far and few. Next teach young shorties like I did you and man. Others hit a term and they think a gun. Mad moms would equate this to lack of fun. For the clothes, food, daycare, car, no rent, and a promises for time not spent. Then again, some will clown you and call you small. For your lack of drug use or the alcohol. Call you soft cause your mind stays tried and true. Tell them sticks and stones to do what you do. Man up. Yo, welcome to the Unity by Default show. I'm one half of your host team, docillah, and this is
Lady T, a.k.a. Pig.
You heard me?
Damn.
Man, what's happening, people?
What's going on? How
Man.
y'all feeling?
Yeah, it's been a couple of weeks, but I think tonight's show will be worth the wait. We got a what Tina calls a fire topic.
Fire, bing, bing, bing.
Yeah, it's I don't know. It's interesting to say the least.
Yes.
Do you see a husband in your boyfriend? Or do you see a wife in your girlfriend or your mate? Whatever you want to call it. Your relationship, your situationship, however you want to put it.
Exactly.
Do you see a suitable mate in a suitable partner? No, well, it would be a suitable mate. Your husband or your wife, that's your mate. So do you see that in your current partner?
Right, in your current, in your man. Do you see that husband figure? In your woman, do you see that wifey? Can you wifey her?
Make you want to ask some questions. It make you want to ask, like, what are the requirements? What are your expectations in that person that you're dealing with to be your lifelong spouse? You ever think about that? What do you expect from a man? What do you expect from a woman?
What gives them those suitable qualities that will make them husband or wife material?
Exactly. Like, what are you looking for when you're dating? You know, what is you looking for? If you're trying to husband or wife somebody, what some of the qualities you are looking for to see? You know, what is that you need to be looking at when you're trying to wife somebody or husband somebody, or want them to husband you? What can you see in them? I'm just trying to get this show going.
Thinking about it, I would think the expectations for the man doesn't change very much unless you're dealing with somebody that's very modern. Today's modern woman, I don't know. I think that a lot of them still want what was traditional of a man, to provide, to protect, and be a suitable lover. What is the expectation from the husband, though?
I mean, what is your expectation from a husband's side? What do you look for?
Man, you gotta. Well, most men, I would say, most men that are looking for a wife, it depends on what they have already. If you don't have any children, somebody to bear their children, somebody to take care of their home, somebody to nurture and take care of those responsibilities within the home, that makes it a place of comfort for him to return to on a daily basis. After he goes out and fights the world and tries to provide and bring provisions in, suitable provisions, and be able to take care of all the bills and, you know, all of those things that she expects. And I don't think it's much to ask for, but it's a lot according to some people. They're like, you know, a man ain't nothing but like a check.
Oh, that's what your view is. That's what we view as women. You know, that you just just a money
check.
bag.
Well, I mean, if that's not the case, then why do so many say that he has to make this much money? That was one of them things that was big with Kevin Samuels. Most of the women wanted top earners. And had to bring all of these different things to the table. And he asked them what they were bringing to the table. And he put it pretty, what some people call harshly. He said, man, you ain't bringing nothing to the table but debt and sex.
Yeah, but that can't count for all women. You know, and we have to be very careful of some of the narrative that's been put out. You know, I mean, they expound on the negativity more than anything. Sometimes you got to do your own survey or statistic or something like that, just to see from your surroundings, just to see whether or not it's almost agreeable.
I want to know how many women read Steve Harvey book and going by his thing on what he say a woman should be,
right, and
try to live their life by it. Because I think that he set a lot of them up for failure.
Well, it depends on the mindset. I think everybody have. I don't think that everybody have all the answers. They have some gems that they can probably use, you know. But every case is different, you know. Every case is different.
So with that being said, man, we got a short video clip. It's about 3 minutes, but man, this thing gets down to the point. We're already almost 10 minutes in, so shall I drop this on them?
Yeah, might as well get started because it's a fire topic.
All right, here we go.
Fire.
What's up, babe?
Hey, baby. How your day going?
It's alright. It's been long. But it's been cool, though. So what you been doing today?
Nothing. Chilling. You know I'm on vacation this week. Baby, did you see the boy got engaged on Facebook?
Yeah, I saw that.
And you know they only been together for like 2 years now?
She must be doing something right.
What you trying to say? Because we've been together for 4, so you saying I ain't doing nothing right?
Man, you make everything about you. I'm finna go.
No, you started the conversation. Go ahead and finish it. You got time.
No, I don't got time. I'm on lunch. I came home to get something to eat. I ain't got time.
You can go ahead and go. You don't love me. It's cool. You can go ahead and go. That's what
I don't love you. I bust my ass every day because I love you.
Okay.
What are you talking about?
You love me, but you just don't want to marry me.
Of course I want to marry you. If you want me to be honest, I don't think I should marry you.
Jeremy, what does that even mean?
It means I've been at work all day. You know I'm working extra hours because you told me you weren't going to Dubai. I said, babe, okay, cool. I told you 2 days ago. You've been on vacation for a whole week. I told you 2 days ago that I'm not trying to spend no money on no lunch. I don't get my hair cut yet. I come home on break. I ain't got no food. And not even cold cause you ain't folding no clothes. You ain't washing no dishes. You ain't did nothing.
Okay, so I don't cook and clean.
I didn't say you don't cook and clean. What I am saying is I feel like you do it because you feel like you have to versus that's just what you do.
Jeremy, if I was a wife, I would be doing more of those things.
So what you're saying is I have to marry you, make you my wife in order for you to start doing wife things.
I mean, I'm just a girlfriend.
Okay. Okay. Shrika, do you want to marry me?
Yes.
Why?
Because you a provider, a protector. You watch out for me. I love you. Why would I not want to marry you?
I appreciate that, and I love you too. So what you're saying to me is, those are the things you want your husband to do.
Yes.
So you see your husband in me.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. So the things I'm doing right now, even though I'm not your husband, you want your husband to do. And the crazy thing is, that's just who I am. Not because it's what I feel like I have to do. I do it because that's who Jeremy is. I'm already a husband. I'm just not your husband yet. So you see a husband in me. What do you think I see in you? Oh, that's right. That's right. You're so worried about being a girlfriend. Look, I'm finna go give me something to eat.
It's where you just drop the mic because man,
Wow, interesting.
he put it so clearly that what can you say to that?
It's really nothing you say. We talking about less than 4 minutes, a powerful message. I mean, it's so packful within 4 minutes. And now we got to question ourselves both ways, and this goes to this conditional relationships, in order for me to do this, you got to do this, and that first.
Well, that's what came out of her mouth. She said, if I was your wife, I would be doing more of those things. Didn't say I would be doing those things. She said more of those things.
More of those things.
She was she chose her words very carefully. Mm-hmm. She said, I would do more of those things. Not all of those things, not most of those things, but more of those things. But right now you don't get that because I'm just a girlfriend.
Man, it really do question, your relationship you're in, because I think you have to be a little bit more communicative so far as like, what is it that we really have? I think it should be understanding. So you know how far to go in your relationships, because, are you looking to get married, or are you just two people just going to be dating? We just happen to live together, or because sometimes they be like, why, what they say, why give him something and you got the whole cow of you giving him too much in the beginning. They be like, hell, you acting like my wife already. Hell, I ain't got to marry you if you acting that way already. I think it should be some limitation or some boundaries, in a sense too. I think that if he's saying that I'm already acting like a husband because that's what I am and that's what I know to be, I think that he wouldn't have went as far as maybe them living together, whatever the case may be, if that was the decision. They could have had their own little spot if they just want to just be dating and that's it. I guess when you come together, you're thinking together. You know what I mean? What are your thoughts on that? Because, how do you know how far to go? When you're in a relationship. I mean, is it some boundaries? Is it some limitations? Is it some conditions? What is it? Sometimes we got to think broader, at the whole situation. Because some be like, I'm acting like a wife, hell, I ain't got to marry you. I'm like a husband, he ain't got to marry me. Like, what's the dynamic? What is the limitation? So how far to go,
Well, she said that, when he asked, that he's doing all of the things that a husband would do. And she agreed that, yes, you do all of the things that a husband would do. Everything that you do is what I want my husband to do. Yet, there are conditions on what I would do for you in my current position.
I mean, that's true. That's why I say you have to give understanding, and not be misleading. Because sometimes we can think this is what we are, but this is what he not. Because now he had to question her. That's why he did very well by questioning her. Okay, so what is it? Because he needed to get clarity at that point. Like, okay, so what did you expect from me? Do I seem like a husband? Okay, if that's how you feel, then why I'm not feeling the same way from you? Feeling like you should be feeling towards me. Like I say, this video is very impactful because it make us question, our relationship and how, what are we really doing in our relationship? What type of over in and outer understanding do we have when it comes to clarity? When it comes to clarity.
Well, the priority in this particular instance for her was the title. Mm-hmm. And again, he couldn't have laid it out no better. I'm like, damn, what can you say? I mean, boy, that one is tough because, I mean, he said everything that needed to be said, too. He was like, man, he said, yeah, I want to marry you, but, man, how should I feel about wanting to marry you when you throwing these conditions at me when you're getting mine unconditionally?
Yeah. Like I say, it's really no rebuttal based upon from his perspective. There's really no rebuttal. Really, I really don't have anything to say because he's saying, you said you wanted to go to Dubai. You wanted to go on a trip. I'm out here busting my butt, putting in extra times so that you can go. Yeah. You was on vacation all week. You noticed that he looked at everything when he walked in. I don't have no food. He was looking for something. He was looking for something. Like, just give me one thing that I can say, okay, I can count on her to do that. She didn't say she didn't do it because he knows that she does it. The question is that, how much do she supposed to do it? Where she's getting at. And again, he was coming in and he was trying to figure out, he looked at everything. You did cook, you not washing clothes, you didn't clean up. Like, what? And then this is the thing that he said the most. I told you I'm not about to spend no money outside. Because I'm trying to save up for you. I'm trying to do what you asked me to do. And I told you I can't spend any extra money doing that. Him telling her that should have told her automatically, man, he said for me to get a trip, that's the least I can do is to make sure he had lunch. Because if he going to come home for lunch, I got you ready, baby. But you just totally omit that he's working his butt off, extra time, extra, hours at work to make sure you go to Dubai. And so you are not reciprocating in any kind of way. Any kind of way. And that's what make it, that would make it tough and hard for men to really say, I can't settle down with, certain women. And I love the way this guy said it. He said, don't condone disrespect. He said because she might be beautiful, she might have a big booty, she might be good in bed and all that, but I can't have that I take respect over all of that. All of that. And some women think that because they have the goods in certain areas that they can use that as a weapon. Only for a certain amount of time you could. But after they wake up from the
only for a certain amount of time. So what's the conditions behind that where she can do that and that's okay?
No, what I'm saying, a certain amount of time before he wake up and realize it's more to it just sex. you looking good and you're beautiful, you're a trophy piece. After a while, now you start diminishing your looks and this and the other. So, we downgrade it and then become transactional. You don't want that. So it's a lot of topics that can come out of just this gym in itself. Now we can do it vice versa. You got women who's doing the same thing. She's cooking, she's cleaning, she's doing everything she's supposed to do, but yet and still he's not being the man that he needs to be. He's not that provider. He's not that protector. He's not that enforcer. He's just a passive guy that's sitting on the sideline, waiting to be dictated to.
So he's probably living in her crib and she taking care of everything.
Taking care of him and everything, big time. He driving a car, probably going to see other women in it, and it's just plain disrespect that we really need to really take a good look at ourselves and our relationships and be like, okay, what is it that we need to do to make some type of improvements?
With that being said, the guy that doesn't provide, that doesn't have anything going for himself, what would make a woman choose that man to begin with?
Same thing. It could be the same, vice versa. Same thing with him. It could be, he probably has swagger. He probably look good. He probably popular. Probably good in bed. All that. But it's the same thing.
And it's more people that have children by that guy, and multiple people having children by that guy, and then take those expectations to someone else, because that's another one. Dudes say, well, why didn't you marry the baby father?
Yeah. And
they usually get an attitude and be like, no, why would I do that?
Mm-hmm.
Like, because you chose to procreate with him.
Yeah, that's me. Yeah, that's interesting, and just like you was hearing where you gave your best to the man, like giving them children, anything like that, but then you expect more from the next man that you get, and that is something to think about. You got less from the one that did you wrong, but then you expect more from your next one. I get a man, he ain't gonna be able to do this, that, I ain't gonna do this, that, the other. I'm not gonna allow him this, allow him that, but you let the first one get away with that. The one you got chosen by, the one that did you wrong, the one that all of that, he gets away with that. He gets a pass. But your next guy, you gotta put everything off on the next guy. Same thing, vice versa with the woman. Vice versa with the one. The man do the same thing. He's insecure. He from the last woman he was with, and he doing all crazy things, and he taking it out on the next woman. And this is basically what we doing. We're going back and forth with this, At some point when we can critical think and be like, I got to give her a chance, just like I gave her a chance or him a chance. We got to give you got to start fresh. You got to start new. You can't carry this. That's what they call carrying baggages into relationships. That's why you got to be alone for a minute and get your mind cleared. Accept the L's if it's needed, and move on and do better. At first you ought to be expecting better for yourself first, because at some point, you dropped the ball somewhere. So you can't blame it all just on that particular person. You got to figure out where were you at mentally to even fall for whatever just happened in your relationship. And those are just lessons learned, and you learn to do better. Be a better person in your next relationship. That's how I see it. So yeah, this is a very powerful clip. Very powerful. It's what we see in each other. What do you see? And are we that attentive when we in relationships? Are we that attentive? Are we looking for certain things that, you would like to see, with someone you want to, spend the rest of your life with? I think that a lot of times, people just ain't looking for much. They looking for minute. I've seen situations where people say, if it's sex is all you want, say that. If this is what you want, just say that. If that's what you want, just say that. They're asking for this stuff in the beginning in a relationship. What is it you're looking for? What is it that you want when you start dating? And dating is starting to become really horrific. Especially when you take the representative off and see the real them, you be like, oh my God. You be like, put all that back on, because I fell in love with the person that I met. You took all that off, baby. I was like, none of that. None of it.
Well, people change their minds too. You start off one way in a relationship and you think it's going to be this way and it was agreed upon. But at a certain point, you start asking yourself, okay, what am I doing? Am I wasting my time here? And why isn't this person giving me what I want when you've never actually voiced what it is you want? You agreed to certain terms. It's like entering into a contract and then reneging on that and saying, no, I want more now. You're getting the best of me. Why can't I get the best of you?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I'm telling you, it's a whole lot of dynamics in that, you know. But again, what do we see in each other? And what are we looking for? Do we know? Half of the time, people don't know what they want. You know, and I believe that when you're completely satisfied with who you are, then you can start attracting that. When you're really not sure what you want, I'm not really sure, I really don't know what I like, and I really don't know how I feel. That's how the relationship's going to be. This is why it's so really vital, in my opinion, to be single until you kind of know. You got to get to know yourself, you know, and you meet what you are. So where you are in life, that's what you meet in life. So you got to get clarity with yourself first. You know, and I believe that's why we're having a lot of uncomfortable relationships. Because that's it. Sometimes we meet that now person. Well, I need you for this now because this is where you at now. And when it's fulfilled, and then now you're ready for the next step or stage, that's not able to be accomplished because, you know, because you don't know. You know, and then that person can't fulfill that. You know, so again, I mean, it's a lot. You know, and I think that's where we are now so far as in relationships. It's not knowing what we really, really want. You know, because once you know what you want, you know what you're looking for. You're focused on that. You stand, you know, diligent to, I'm not accepting nothing less than that. You know, so that's the way I see it. You know, you ask for a good communicator, are you a good communicator? You ask for a good person, are you a good person? Are you trustworthy and loyal? You have to be that, you know, and you should be able to draw that to you, you know. So it is. That was a very powerful clip, and I loved it. You know, you can take it to so many different dynamics, you know. But my question is now with him that he's seeing that because he left us speechless. So at this point, it's like I would like to see. Did she make those necessary changes? Did she say, you know what, I really got told. He really made me think. And guess what? Let me start, when he come home, let me make sure I got dinner ready for him. And apologize for not having those things. You know, could we be accountable? And
yeah, because he walked out the door saying, I'm going to get me something to eat.
And at that point, I would have stopped.
Yeah, because he's like, man, you know, ain't nothing here. I'm trying to do what you want me to do, but that's not working. So maybe since you're not trying to do what I need you to do, then maybe I won't do what you want me to do.
Yeah, I mean, he can change his mind and be like, I'm not reciprocating. You know, but based upon the person he is, he probably say, you know, I'm going to do it this time, but next time that won't happen until you step up. You know? I mean, does that change the dynamics in the relationship, knowing that this is her true feelings? He did say he loved her. You know, I think he loved her because of the capability that she probably had. You know, he had to see something in her to want to say, I love you and I do want to marry you. Now, my question would be, based on what he just saw, would those feelings change?
Well, I mean, again, it's conditional. It's transactional.
And then you be in some relationship where they did all that in the beginning. All of a sudden, they changed. Now you don't cook no more. You don't clean no more. What's this now? Time for a conversation. Like, what's going on? You know, you're not being a provider no more. You're not being an enforcer no more. You're not being a protector no more. You're just laying around.
That one there, I haven't seen much of. Where a person stops providing. That would be interesting to check out, though.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're living together, usually you're footing bills. So what, you going to stop paying the bills?
In some cases.
You're going to stop paying the mortgage? You're going to stop paying the rent? You're going to stop going shopping? You're going to stop doing this or that?
It be in some cases.
When it comes to provisions, I'm fortunate. I ain't never seen nobody that actually did that without losing a job or something. But then I don't know many irresponsible people.
Yeah.
I try not to surround myself with that type of individual.
Yeah, definitely. You know, I heard some cases where guys was like, I don't even want to associate with men who don't take care of their children or things like that, or, you know, they kind of like want them to be responsible because they want to hang around responsible guys, you know. So again, this subject, like I say, this topic is fire, and I'm telling you, it is amazing, you know, of how powerful this clip was in less than 4 minutes. I mean, he just spoke plainly and clearly. It's just something to make us look at ourselves about, you know, really see if this happening in our current relationships.
Well, we're 30 minutes in, and I want to know what the people think. I want to know what you, as a person, anybody out there in the audience, thinks about the subject matter. If you've had similar to happen to you or somebody that you know, and what are your thoughts or concerns when it comes to conditional or transactional behavior in terms of a serious relationship? Do you see a wife or a husband and your boyfriend or girlfriend, and what do you require? We can be reached at 708-844-8429. That number again is 708-844-8429. The chat room is open. Feel free to chime in. But we're looking for your thoughts, your views, your opinions. Yeah, this one, woo. I mean, it was, for me, everything was cut and dry. Dude laid it out, and her mouth was just on the floor. I don't know how you come back from that one, to be perfectly honest, because it was so well articulated. I'm like, damn. How do you follow that up? You can't follow that up with nothing but action.
Yeah.
Action is the only thing. You have to be able to take action and
absolutely
fill in the blanks, fill in those dry spots, because man,
that's true. Yep.
Because the way it sounded to me is, if he does that naturally, it will be much easier for him to do that with somebody else that's going to reciprocate.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's.
And then she'll be looking like that chick on Acrimony.
Exactly.
Talking about, you know, somebody took her guy, but nobody took your guy. You let him slip through your fingers because.
And then it would be with somebody that she didn't like either. So the one that caused that accident, that was she couldn't have no kids. She caused her own self to be in that accident, but he wound up being with her in the end.
Yeah, she did that to herself because, man, you know, she lost her temper and she went in and she did it to herself.
Yeah, but he wound up being with a woman that, you know, that happened with, so that just made it worse. But again, you know, you don't want to be that person, you know, so we have to be mindful of what we have, and a lot of times we don't be mindful. What they say, you lose it. You know, you lose it.
Based on the video, she was wrong, but there could possibly be more to it. Yeah, that's true. And it would be speculatory, but I'm like,
what could be some of those possible examples that could be wrong? Yeah, because he comes in. You come in and he noticed certain things.
Yeah, because she just didn't have no answer.
Like, you did cook, you did clean. He was looking for something to give me some reason why I'm going out here working every day hard. You wanted to go to Dubai. Then he said that that he's working hard to do that, put in extra hours. And because he put in extra hours, he can't spend no more money. You know, so he said that he has to have lunch. I mean, if you taking me to Dubai, I'm going to have lunch ready for you. I'm just, that's just how I see that. You know, in order for him, but like I said, I gave a great scenario about how much is it some boundaries, but how much is it that she's supposed to do, you know, because she did mention that, I do those things, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, that is probably the only speculatory part that could be thrown in there, you know, but.
You said you do it, but you do it like it's a chore.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's important. Yeah.
He said you do it as if it's a chore.
Yeah.
He said, I do it because, man, this is who I am.
Big difference. That's major, too. And a lot of times, we be in a relationship, let me go and do this, And I think that people ought to be happy about the things that they do. You shouldn't do it unless you just want to do it. You have a mate that you can't wait to do that for. That's an interesting thing too. Very interesting. Do you do it because you just gotta do it, or you do it because that's something you got somebody you want to do that for? And what would make you want to do that for them? They have to make you feel some type of way. Because for me, if it's a man, because he doing what he doing, say like a guy like that do that for me, man, I will want to cook. It's nothing like cooking for a man, because that's something you want to do based upon the things that he do. He's paying the bills. He doing this. He doing that. Man, it's nothing to have some dinner or lunch ready for him. Your lunch is ready. You ain't even got to come home. Your lunch is ready. Your lunch is already take with you. You might want to just sit at the park and chill. At least you have your lunch. Dinner's gonna be ready. Somebody like that, you want to, man. That's the motivation for me in itself. Same thing, vice versa. Would a man want to do something for a woman because he knows what he got? My woman is good. She cooks. She cleans. She does the things that she needs to do. She pitch in. She help. Yeah, ain't nothing for me to. I done seen men buy their woman a car or take her on trips and all of that because he see the things that she does, and she deserved that. He'd be like, you know what, baby, you take the day off. I know you need a break, especially if you got children. Let me give you a break. You take a day off, go take you a spa and all that. I got the kids, And we just can't be selfish in relationships. We have to learn how to, compromise in some type of way, help each other out. It's nothing like going to work and he can't wait to get home to you. It's nothing like when you go to work, you can't wait to get home to your man. Instead of dreading, oh my God, I gotta go in here and hear this. I'm feeling some type of way. I don't even want to go home. I'd rather be anytime you rather be at work and you can't go home, something ain't right. Is there peace? That's the only place you got is at home. You should have peace in your house. I'm sorry, it should be peace in your home. When you deal with all the hustle and bustle and all the negativity as you deal on the outside of your house, peace should be at home. And you can't wait to get there. So that's kind of stuff that's out here today, is that we dealing with situations where we can't have peace in our home, have love in our home, tranquil, and and understanding. Do you go to bed mad at each other? Do y'all try to resolve it before you go to sleep? All that kind of stuff. So it's a lot. And this is where the twin flame come in, because you want somebody that be like, man, we jail just like that, we good. And today, back in the day, our parents or grandparents, they able to say, I loved my husband, I loved my wife, like I loved them. I don't even think I can meet another man or woman like the one I had. That's rarity now. And how we change the narrative from loving our husband and wife to now we can't even stand each other. What's really going on is the question.
Well, again, with things being transactional and conditional, that's the key. I think letting too many outside forces into your relationship.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That is, I think that's a major problem.
Yeah, outside people, especially single, just like when my friends get married, they be like, Tina, oh, you don't hear from me because you married now. You have a husband. Everything you can do should be with your husband. We go out every once in a while, but that changes when you with me. I don't have no parts of that. When you married, and that's it. That's all. I become respectful.
Yeah, that single person influence can be detrimental to a relationship. Single person influence can be detrimental to a relationship of a friend, because man, they get it's almost like peer pressure.
Yeah.
You hate to use that term, but that's exactly what it equates to.
Absolutely. And we just have to be mindful and respectful. This same thing about, even with a guy, he want to be all the guys. And he, doing things that he shouldn't be doing when he know he got a wife at home. Again, it's just crazy. the mindsets of how we view relationships or marriages or committed relationships or marriages. And I think it's all about being communicative and be real, like be for real. Cut it out with the representative. Stop being a knight in shining armor when you're not finna do that all the time. You opened my door in the beginning, you brought me flowers and candy, you took me on dates, you did this, that, and the other, and all of a sudden it stopped. I want to be like that all throughout the relationship. Well, if that's you, that should be that's what you do. If I cook and clean and do the stuff I do, that's what I do. I just do that. It just come naturally. It's not a chore. But what's happening is that people being fake phony in these relationships and they're not being real with each other. And that's just not what you do. Even though sometimes they try to use some motivational, well, it's maybe because if I love her, well, you should be with somebody you love. Not a chore to call yourself love somebody. Feel like you're a chore to like somebody or love somebody. It got to be miserable. It got to be miserable every day. That's a miserable situation to be in every day.
I see a lot of that stop once the honeymoon phase is over. Mm-hmm. Dudes will say that, man, all the stuff she used to do, she don't do none of that no more, especially in the bed. And usually that's when he'll start slacking off on stuff that he does naturally, and it becomes tit for tat at that point. Yeah. So,
because I'm gonna tell you, when one woman won't do, another woman will, and what another man won't do, another man will.
Yeah, it's so everybody just they're treating relationships like it's a swap meet.
Yeah, pretty much like some type of swinger deal. We just have to look at this overall picture a little bit more closer. My thing is that you ought to be with somebody, in my opinion, you can't wait to get to.
But how do you get to that point?
Man, I believe it ain't that you get to the point. I think it should be like it should be like a automatic when you see each other. It should be like, what I'm saying? Because they're working towards things. You can only do that for so long. You're going to work towards something for so long before you can't work it no more. Because people tend to go back into their old ways. I've seen it happen so often. They go back to their old ways. They just wait. And you got to accept them. That's just the way they are. Once they reveal to you that's just the way they are, you got to make a decision.
So does your life supposed to stop because you get married, cohabitate? When you say your life is supposed to stop, what do you mean by that?
Yeah. Your life's supposed to stop because you get married. It ain't that your life's supposed. I don't think your life's supposed to ever stop. I think your life's that's why I'm saying that. In my opinion, you meet people where you are. You meet people where they are. Like, this is who you are. How's your life stopping if that's who you are? That's who I am. That's what I am. This is what I do. That's how I do things. And that person got to receive you just the way you are.
Well, I'm guessing that by the way that the question is structured, that maybe you're a person that goes out a lot and you do this and you do that with these people. It's sort of like you just said. You said that, okay, you're married now, so you don't hang with that person now because they're in a marriage. I think that's kind of what she means when she says that your life's supposed to stop. These are the things that you did before you got together with that individual.
So when you get married, you got to ask yourself the question, now that I have a mate in my life, so where did your mate come in at? Where y'all time come in at? See, when you get married, that means it's you and your guy, you and your spouse, you and your significant other. It's now y'all got time with each other. It's y'all got time with each other. You're not going to hang out as much as you was when you were single. Now when you got a mate, you're not. I can't see this possible. Nobody's saying you can't do nothing at all, but it does decrease because you have a mate in your life. Don't mess around and y'all sudden y'all got kids now. You married, now you got children. So where the time going to come in at? So now I got to keep you, I'm going to be a single person selfish. Oh, you still got to go out. Find you a babysitter. Tell your man we going out. That's disrespectful. That's disrespectful. There's no way I'm gonna tell my friend, since you married now, you can't spend time with your friend no more. You married. There's your mate can do some things for you that I never can do. Never can do. I'm not gonna take care of you. I can't give you no sex. So none of that. I can't take care of you. I can't provide for you. I can't do what your man gonna do. Why would I let you miss out on that? Because I'm not gonna be able to do that. So yeah, there is some boundaries and there is some limitations. And when you get married, you got to think about all that. When you get married, you got to be like, I'm with my mate now. Everything I can do it with my mate. My mate ain't stopping me from still hanging out with my friends from time to time. But all the time, we got to think about that. We got to really think about that. So we wasn't ready to be married. That's all I'm saying. So if you don't want your life to stop, then you should be getting married. That's how I see it.
Yeah, it depends on what you got going on. You got people that own businesses and do things of that nature. Let's see what we got here. What's the number? 708-844-8429. 708-844-8429.
Put that in the comments right quick. You can do it.
Oh.
Go ahead.
Oh, you can type it in there?
No, go ahead. Yep, you guys can call on in. Again, we'd love to hear your point of view on this topic. Do you see a wife in your girlfriend, and do you see a husband in your boyfriend? You can call in 708-844-8429.
Yeah, we got about 12 minutes. Hopefully this call will come through. Let's see. Yeah, it's deep just thinking about it.
Yeah, that was a pretty good, like I said, that was a pretty... Cool J is hard as hell. Battle anybody, I don't care, you do.
Call from Zakara.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. What you got to say about our topic?
I'm responding to you. First of all, how are both of you all doing?
Fine. What's going on,
fair for a square.
What's going down?
Now, I'm responding to you saying that once you get married or you cohabitate with someone, the things that you were doing you shouldn't do. You shouldn't hang out like you were. This person met you doing what you were doing. So why would it stop? This person should understand this is what I do. This is what I have been doing. You're going to do things respectfully, don't get me wrong, but you should never stop being who you are because you are with someone else. This is how they met you. This is where you were at, as you say.
Now, what if, and I mean, it's different scenarios for that, because they should. Because that just like that same thing about that's why I don't meet guys out. When I meet guys at a club, I can't date them because I know that's what they do, and that is not what I'm looking for. Now, if you're looking for a husband and you're looking for him to be a provider and stuff like that, and he's home and he expect you to be the wife, and that's why I say communication is definitely going to be key in this point. Now, say like now you're with your husband, and now that means y'all going to start doing things. That means you're going to automatically not go out as much because now you're going to be with your husband. You're going to do things with your mate. So that's already going to eliminate some of that time in itself. So what you gonna say? Listen, I'm never going out with my mate. I'm gonna keep kicking it with my girls. Period. That's it. That's all. That's basically what you're saying. I'm still doing what I'm doing.
That's
and
not
again,
what I'm saying.
but I'm just saying.
That's not what I'm saying.
I know you said that you was gonna be able to say that. I'm gonna have to be respectful. That's fine. But there are some changes probably going to be made when you with your guy. You know. But again, I do respect the fact that you're saying that this is how you were when y'all met. And he have to accept that. If he didn't want to accept that, then no, he should not be getting married to a person that like to go out all the time. He should not have no complaints because he knew what he were getting in when he got there. And I get that. You know, but it does change. Just say like if you saying you're going to still kick it out with your girlfriends and stuff like that. And say like you and your guy, all of a sudden y'all got 4 or 5 kids. That's going to eliminate all that. So that's going to make you an unfit mother. If you say, I'm still going out. I don't care if I do got kids and a husband. I'm going out.
Not what I said.
I'm just saying that
I was just going strictly off what you said. Now, based on what Doc said, he understood what I was saying. You don't change who you are because you got into a relationship or you got married. You can incorporate your spouse or your significant other in the things that you were doing. Now, if they choose to sit back and not be a part of it, that's on them. But you never change who you are for who you're with. You stay true to who you are.
In that dynamic, of course. But I'm just saying, if I'm a person, we was talking about specifically going out. Like, I don't ask my girlfriends. That's how it really started. When I don't call my girlfriends who's married to go out with me because I think it's being respectful. That's where the dynamic starts.
You changing who you are.
No, I'm gonna respect my girlfriend who's married, and I won't expect her to come out. That's where it comes. That's where the foreign play comes from. That's where that particular insight come from. Is that I don't encourage her to come out. I wouldn't be disrespectful to her. Girl, you better come out. Forget your man. So what? That's the way you used to do things. Now all of a sudden you marry, you change. You know what I'm saying? I won't be the initiator. You know, any of that. I'm not saying, I never said you supposed to change who you are. You always play to stay true to who you are. We specifically was talking about going out kicking it.
Yourself.
No, what I'm saying is that I didn't talk about, we was talking about party, kicking it, going out. That's what we was talking about. I ain't telling you to change the person who you are. I never said that. Never saying change who you are, true to who you are. I specifically talking about going out and kicking it. That's where that began. And that's why I said, you said, that's why I told you, I agree with you, if that's how he met you. If he met you, a person like to party and kick it and go out and do your thing, of course he got to respect you because that's how he met you. That's how he met you. And if he know that's how you were. So he can expect you to change because that's how you were.
So what I'm taking from this is, what you saying is, if it's a person that's just going out with somebody, then the possibility is going to remain that she'll probably still go out with her friends because that's what, that's how y'all met and that's what y'all do. And the other side of that is, once that person has committed to this relationship and said, okay, I'm getting married, you look at that as, okay, that person isn't a part of this equation anymore, not on a regular basis, because you're trying to respect the marriage. That's what I'm gathering. I think both of y'all might be saying the same thing.
We're saying two different things, but I respect what she's saying. I'm not telling her to never, ever. She always stays true to who she is. I'm never going to stop that. I was specifically talking about if I do single things, and I don't expect married people to do the single things that I do. That's what I'm saying. So I would always going to respect a married person. Now, again, I understood what she was saying when she said, well, if that's what she did before she got married, then he got to respect. That's what she does. I go out. I kick it with my friend. And I want to do this when I want to do it.
Single things and what are married things.
So I don't. When married people and single people do two different things, in my opinion. I can't. Even married people still want to kick it and hang out and all that kind of stuff. They do, But But I just see it differently. But how people do, what people do in their marriages is based on whatever that is that they have been communicating about. You know, if he met you the way that you say you like to be, you like to kick it and go out and do your thing, and he met you that way, he can't complain because that's how he met you. You know, and I get that. Trust me, I get it. He can't expect you to do anything different when he met you that way. If he had to tell you again, if this kicking and stuff you go out and do, you know, you doing single things, we can't get married because that's not what I'm looking for. A married woman who do this and the other.
What are single things and what are married things? If you go out, you go out. What do single people do opposed to what married people do?
Well, some people have restrictions on.
Only difference I see is that maybe the person is married or the person is single. I mean, if single people go out and eat or go to the show.
No, single people go out. Single people can go out 24 hours a day. Single people can drink all day. Single people do single things, and they don't have to answer to no one. I mean, they have to give. They don't have to give. I'm talking about being respectful. They don't have to give respect.
But married people don't. Married people don't do that too.
I said married people. I just said married people do it. Married people do it. You have to communicate. You have to communicate. You guys have to communicate on whoever is married. They have to communicate that. But I'm not. When you're single people and married people do it. But single people and married people, when you with your spouse, there is a certain amount of respect you automatically give your spouse. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
So then one person must be out here being ratchet, and the other person must be out here being, I can't think of the word I want to use for a man, but I don't see the difference between what single people and what married people do, unless you just out here foul. That's all.
Yeah, but you know, single people do single things, and they can do that when they're single. But when you're in a relationship, it is boundaries. It's usually boundaries. You can't hang out with me every day. Let's say, for instance, let's do this scenario. I can hang out every day because I'm single. Can you possibly, when you married, can you hang out every day? You can't, because your mate might tell you, today we going out. Today, he might say, today we going out. I'm going to tell you to tell your husband, tell your husband, no, we kicks it 7 days a week. He gets no day. But if I'm a single person, I can kick it every day. But you got a mate now. You got a husband now. He wants to go out. So your days lessen because he might want 2 of them days. So that's going to keep
doing different stuff.
No, I'm just trying to give you a scenario.
The whole thing was single people as opposed to married people.
I gave you a great scenario.
People can hang out with married people, and married people can hang out with single people.
That's not what I'm saying. I think things gonna be different when you get married.
People doing this every day.
Okay.
You throw monkey wrenches into the.
I didn't throw any. I just gave you a scenario about single and married people. It's not gonna be the same ever.
Okay.
And that's all I'm saying.
Okay.
I can hang out 7 days. A person that's married cannot hang out 7 days.
He can disagree.
That's all I'm saying.
Let's just agree to disagree.
That's 2 different scenarios. It's just that's the only scenario I can give that can give you quite a bit of understanding, you know. And I can't, you know, I can kick that. I can kick it 7 days.
Doc, what you got to say, Doc?
Well, what I got to say about the whole thing is that both of y'all presented your case. I understand both sides because I'm listening to both of y'all speak. And to a certain degree, I mean, I get it. I get the person that goes out. I get the person that's the homebody. I get the person that's in a relationship, committed or married. And I get the person that's not. I don't think that I don't think it will be a good look for a person that's married to be hanging out as much with the single people, because usually single people are out on the hunt. And if you're not on the hunt, then why are you out with these people like that all the time? You see what I'm saying? If it's an occasional thing, then so be it. But again, it all depends on how you met the person, like you said, what they were doing, and if that's okay with the individual and y'all have this understanding going into a relationship.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, you have to. That's why I say you got to communicate very well on this is what I do, how I do things, and if you still marry me like this, you can't have no complaints because you knew this in the door. That's how I roll. So you can't all of a sudden now, well, you married. No, 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 no. You knew this, how it was. You knew what was going on because I told you this how I do things, and I showed you that. So me getting married or whatever, that doesn't change that. Me being in a relationship doesn't change that.
Get thrown in your face if it's really to that degree. The vows gonna get thrown in your face because it'll be like, who did you marry?
No, I mean, saying you can't, and this is such a great topic because a great scenario because that is the facts. If you met her that way or met him that way, you knew this in the door. You knew that. This is why I don't date men that stays out in the club or none of that. I knew that. I met him in the club. So no, I could never marry a guy in the club. Period. If he comes to me and say, I want to marry you, I was like, man, that club thing I don't do. That club thing, might have to cut that out. And at that point, he got to agree to that. And if he agreed to that, then we're going to have a problem if he goes back into the club. See, communication is definitely key. You know, if he's not the man that I want him, not the man that I'm looking for, or a husband I'm looking for in a man, I'm not going to be with him. He's not what I'm looking for. I got to already see what I'm looking for in him before I call myself saying I do to him. Same thing about him. He has to see the type of wife or in you, that person, to say, hey, I'm going to be committed in that. If he don't see that in you, he got to make a decision whether or not he want a wife or person. You know, and that's how, and this is a problem that we have very poor communication skills to the point we are not being real and upfront about what it is that we want from that person. You see things, we compromising with things we don't like. We put up with stuff we don't like. We know we didn't like that in the beginning, but we found certain things that we found that it was compromisable. But once it's not being able to compromise anymore and it's deleted and it's gone, now you see that person for what it is and you be like, oh man, that's gone. So now I got to look at this person like, man, do I still want to be with this person? That's why I tell people when you meet somebody for looks, sex, money, and them three things gone, how do you still look at that person? What else about that person can make you continue to have a relationship with somebody? Once that's all gone, because that's all you look for when you was in a relationship. You know, I look for more than that. I look for substance. I look for a lot of things. A lot of things. More than just money, looks, and, you know, sex. Because that all can disappear. Then what I got left in a relationship? You know, and I'm telling you, it's a lot. It's a lot. You know, do you see a wife in your girlfriend? Do you see a husband in your boyfriend? Do we see these things in the beginning?
So with that being said, you still on the line, Scar?
Yeah, I'm still here. I still strongly disagree because her whole thing was set on somebody being in the club. When I say go out, number one, I don't do clubs. I'm too old for that. But my idea of going out is just being out. Show, dinner, things of that nature. Concerts, whatever the case may be. That's my idea of going out. So when I say single and married people doing the same thing, that's what I mean. I'm not a club hopper. I don't have friends in the club hoppers. But that's what I meant by single people doing single and married things.
So there's a misunderstanding in the door, in the gate with that.
Exactly.
Because one is saying one thing and one is saying another thing. So I can see where you can agree to disagree. And, I mean, it's situational, if you will. It's purely situational. I get it. Okay, with that being said, man, we done went over an hour. And our time is up. I liked the little bit of fire that happened at the end of the show.
Did we have another call that came in? I thought I saw another call.
No, that wasn't. That wasn't another call. I got to call it. Okay. No, they was giving me a message. And they said Thursday is cool, so that's okay. Let me give it an okay. All right, with that being said, I want to thank you for your call.
That was very, very. And I'm gonna tell you, and that was a great scenario because we had to look at that overall because you like different perspectives, and you have to get more out of that. You have to throw more situations. Does things change because you married or you single, or how do you? And that was a great scenario, even down to. Should I stay true to myself, or should he have known this in the beginning? Communicate this to them in the beginning. You know, what do you call going out with your girlfriends? It's called kicking in club, or be Pacific. You know, or what we're doing. You know, and that's why I said single, and that, and all of those are great scenarios, great angles to come in at. Even down to the one I said, married people can never do what single people do, or have the same amount of time, is because I can go out 7 days a week. I'm just making that scenario again. I go out 7 days a week. You're not going to be able to go out. A married person is not going to be able to go out 7 days a week because he has a spouse. He or she has a spouse. One of them days, a spouse is going to ask for that time. I can still do it because I'm single, because I don't have nobody. But you can't do that if you're married and you're with a spouse or you're with a significant other. He's going to take one of those days from you. You know, so now it's still not going to never amount to the same. You know, now to the same at all.
But
period.
In this day and age, even single people ain't hitting the streets every day of the week. That's just my
they hit them, baby.
It is what it is.
They hit them 7 days a week and all day long, if they could, straight after work if they could. I was one of them. I was one of them young ones that was able to be out there every day. In these days and age, they not even working no more. They kicking it real hard.
All right, with that being said, we finna cut out of here, and we gonna cut out of here to change, because change is what's needed. All right, thanks again for calling in.
Yeah, that was absolutely fire.
All right, let's get ready to shut this thing down.
You see, I'm so sorry, mama, meant to cause you no pain. And even though you love your son, God's gonna give you some rain. Everything gonna be the same, unless you willing to change. Even though it feels strange, think we need us a change. And Dad, I know your daughter, keep your baby girl safe. Even though you did your best, she's gonna make some mistakes. Everything gonna be the same, unless you're willing to change. Even though it feels strange, think we need us a change. I think it's time to get some things off my chest. Ease up on your worries, put some rumors to rest. Generation looks at mine like you lost all hope, as if we totally incompetent and hooked on dope. The only thing we hear's we're lost in that we look a hot mess. Middle name should be to blame, cause all I gave you was stress. I remember when you lived to try to give me the world, when you kept me from my dad and watched the drama unfurl. It takes two to make a baby, so you had to have love. Did he hate you when you had me? Should've just wore a glove. In the absence of the man, simply tried to be cool. You told me stop that bull and get your back to school. But if school is so important and the focus is the history, after 500 years, why's our history still a mystery? Just some questions that I'm having, got your son feeling strange. Mom, we trying, but we failing, think it's time for a change. See, I'm so sorry, mama, meant to cause you no pain. And even though you love your son, God's gonna give you some rain. Everything gonna be the same, unless you willing to change. Even though it feels strange, think we need us a change. And Dad, I know your daughter, keep your baby girl safe. Even though you did your best, she's gonna make some mistakes. Everything gonna be the same, unless you're willing to change. Even though it feels strange, think we need us a change. We never rock together, and you always seem mad. Is it my preferential treatment from your mom and your dad? Seems you frown about every little thing that they do for me. But the values, what they tell me about our family tree. Like I never knew our family built stores across the nation with just blood, sweat, tears, and a 3rd grade education. As I picture what we overcame despite all odds, got me feeling I win any hand, no matter the cost. We believe we can't do anything until you show us otherwise. The story never looks the same when viewing through another. See, we win when we share, and when we share it at home, gotta do it as a family and never alone. A family dinner at the table, no phones and no distractions. They define things as social but lack in interaction. I'm not saying what they teaching's necessarily wrong. From pops to you and you to me, we'll pass our history on. Now that's a change. So sorry, mama, meant to cause you no pain. And even though you love your son, God's gonna give you some rain. Everything gon' be the same, unless you're willing to change. Even though it feels strange, think we need us a change. And dear dad, I know your daughter, keep your baby girl safe. Even though you did your best, she's gonna make some mistakes. Everything gon' be the same, unless you're willing to change. Even though it feels strange, think we need us a change, a change.